This is Nick.
This is Jack.
It's Friday, the real Friday, November 7th, and today's pod is the best one yet. This is a T-Boy.
The top 3 pop business news stories you need to know today.
Sorry, one sec, Jack. Just celebrating the wins over here in the Kingdom of Capital, baby.
The Kingdom of Capital.
I mean, what a week in San Francisco, dude. Incredible time. We got so many wins to celebrate. We also got an amazing show today.
Thank you, dude.
We really do. Here.
Can I have my beer?
Yeah, you can. I can. I was saving it for the sound effects so I can pop it open. Okay. Here we go. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Cheers, man.
But Jack, 3 fantastic stories for today's T-Boy. What do we got on the pod?
For our first story, it's the latest IPO. It's Baby Shark.
Baby Shark.
The 10-year-old kid song, Baby Shark, just went public.
So we'll tell you how the most watched YouTube video in history built a business on bothering ya.
For our second story, the price of Ozempic just plummeted by 85%.
Wow.
Ozempic? It's basically on Ozempic.
President Trump negotiated lower prices with the big pharma companies, so we'll explore Trump RX.
For our third and final story, fresh after Lyft announced their earnings yesterday, we got the CEO of Lyft into the T-Boy studio.
David Risher is CEO for Lyft and drives for Lyft, and he sat down to tell us all about Lyft's best quarter ever.
But Yetis, before we hit that wonderful mix of stories.
I mean, what a mix of stories. No one else is doing that mix, Jack.
AI is going to change humanity with revolutions across industries.
Medicine, defense, technology, all disrupted by AI.
But AI will now also find you the restaurant with the hottest looking people.
Get this, a new AI app doesn't just find you the best food, it finds you the most attractive diners.
It's called LooksMapping. It's a restaurant app that ranks diners by their hotness.
I mean, Jack, all the models are eating at Miramay.
The cute couples are at Katonia.
And all the hotties, yeah, we see ya, you're eating over at Honey Brains.
How do they do it? Well, the AI scrapes pictures from online restaurant reviews.
And then it uses a set of superficial standards to rate the looks.
For example, Finelli Cafe in Soho makes a decent martini. And the diners, they get a solid 8.7 out of 10.
Not too shabby.
We're not judging the looks, AI is.
Yeah. Oh. And this app has done that for 9,800 restaurants in New York, LA, and San Francisco.
But there are some surprising twists.
Yeah, there are. What else did we discover, Jack?
Jelena, the trendy celebrity restaurant in Los Angeles, only gets a 5.9.
But the Chick-fil-A nearby that restaurant got a whopping 6.2 on the scale.
That means the Chick-fil-A crowd is hotter than DiCaprio's.
The AI says so, and thus it must be true.
But when you go out to dinner, do you want to fit in? Or do you want to stand out?
Interesting strategy. What do you think, Jack?
It's always nice to be tiny bit hotter than your peers.
Yeah, you're going to want to check the app on this one.
Although I have always said it's inner beauty that counts the most. Talking about the steak, of course.
Inner beauty, great spot, Jack. They get a 6.8.
Okay, that's not what I meant at all.
It's actually a bar in the marina. Okay, never mind. Let's hit our 3 stories, Jack.
15 years before this song, 2 boys from the Northeast met in the dorm. They had an idea that caused a cultural storm. It's the best one yet, but the best is the norm. Jack, Nick, that's it. I don't even think they need to practice. 50%, that's a fat tip. T-Boy City on your at list. If you know, you know, cause we ready to go. We can't wait no more, so just start the show. Start the show.
For our first story, the latest IPO is also the cutest. Baby Shark. Yeah, the kid song Baby Shark just went public for $400 million.
Because being annoying can actually be a competitive advantage.
Now, Jack, I feel like we got some good trivia for the Yetis here. Most sung nursery rhyme of all time, guess what it is?
What?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Valuation? $0.
And yet Baby Shark has turned one nursery rhyme into a $400 million business.
Yeah, Aesop and his fables could have been a billionaire after they hear this story.
If you're a kid, you know the song.
Yeah.
If you're a parent, you definitely know the song.
And if you're a Washington Nationals fan, you definitely know this song.
Because Baby Shark was the theme song of their 2019 World Series playoff run.
I mean, Jack, even dinks like my younger sister know this song.
Because Ted Lasso adopted Baby Shark for the Jamie Tart song.
So, Jack, let's sprinkle on some historical business context here, please.
Baby Shark was uploaded on YouTube in November of 2015, exactly 10 years ago.
And how many numbers they've been doing since then?
It's the most watched YouTube video of all time by far.
16 billion views and #1 on YouTube for the past 60 months and counting.
This song only has 24 distinct words.
Yeah.
We'd play it, but it would be permanently tattooed on your brain.
Yeah, your hippocampus couldn't get rid of the song. We played a line from it.
Here's the wildest part. The company that owns this Baby Shark empire doesn't own the song. They only own the characters around the song.
Exactly. The Baby Shark tune is actually an old campfire song that's been around for generations.
It's like Old MacDonald.
Right.
It's not ownable by anybody.
What the business that owns Baby Shark did is add their own cartoon characters to the public domain song.
Published it on YouTube and have racked in so many ad dollars.
There's nothing baby about this shark.
Even Grandma Shark can't keep track.
So, Jack, let's talk about the news. Besties, on the 10-year anniversary of the song getting uploaded, PinkFong, the owner of Baby Shark, just IPO'd on the Korean stock market.
The valuation is $400 million. The revenues are $70 million a year. The profit margin is 20%.
We're talking about a pure play nursery rhyme stock.
Nick, can you share more details? Do.
Yes, I can. Do.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
Jack.
well
Okay,
done.
the Baby Shark business model, it's basically like a Disney-like flywheel of products and with Pixar-worthy IP control.
There are 3,000 different licensed products that kids can buy related to Baby Shark.
Okay, get this. We did the research. That is 30 times more licensing deals than the average Disney character.
There's beddings, there's toys, there's even fishing tackle. Baby Shark, he's a fish.
It kind of messes with my mind, but yeah, Baby Shark fishing tackle.
And then in 2019, like Disney does with Frozen on Ice, they expanded to experiences.
Baby Shark's owner, PinkFong, turned Baby Shark from a 75-second song into a 75-minute musical.
The biggest corporate shareholder of this company is Samsung, the Korean tech company, with 17% of the shares.
So there is a tech connection here. They've got a strategic investor, probably helps them scale as well.
But Baby Shark, it should be a one-hit wonder product.
I mean, Baby Shark is kind of the definition of a one-hit wonder product, literally.
Because PinkFong in the last 10 years, they've built dozens of other characters and songs, but the original Baby Shark still makes up 77% of the company's revenues.
So, Jack, pause the pod and the song for a second here. How is a 2-minute, 16-second song that is 10 years old still worth $400 million?
Our takeaway.
Mary Had a Little Lamb? Can't believe they didn't turn that into some good IP, man. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at PinkFong's Baby Shark?
If something's annoying, it's also memorable.
Now, Yetis, kids love this song, Baby Shark, because it's repetitive. If you're learning a language, then repetition is comforting.
Parents, on the other hand, hate the song because it's repetitive.
Right.
To an adult, repetition can be really annoying.
Right. So, I mean, you have 3 kids, Jack, and your verdict?
I'm not annoyed by this because I've only listened to it like 6 times, to be honest.
Well, your kids are young, then I assume. Jack. But in marketing, besties, annoyingness is often an aspirational metric, and that metric is measured.
It's called the annoyance stimulus, and it sticks in consumers' minds.
Remember the Mentos jingle, the Cars for Kids theme song, every small business ad on your local FM radio station.
They're all designed to just get stuck in your head.
Right. They're not there to win a Grammy. They're there to be just annoying enough that you can't ever forget them.
And for Baby Shark, that annoyingness resonates with kids and is recognized by adults.
And that is the Baby Shark competitive advantage.
Just the right amount of annoyingness is actually memorable.
Do. For our second story, President Trump got the big pharma companies to cut the price of weight loss drugs by 85%. Ozempic just went on Ozempic.
This kind of drug deal is totally new for us, but it happens all the time, just not here.
But besties, if Jack and I are going to tell you this story, Jack, could you please repeat the wildest hero stat of the last quarter?
Last week, we told you at the end of the pod that the percent of Americans already on the GLP-1 weight loss drugs, it's 15% for women and 10% for men.
We repeat, 1 out of 7 women in America is on Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Zepbound, or one of the other GLP-1 weight loss drugs.
That's according to a recent Gallup poll, and the older you are, the more likely you are to be on a GLP-1.
Well, Yetis, that number is about to jump even higher, and not because Thanksgiving dinner is coming up.
It's because of this news. The Trump administration struck a deal to get weight loss drugs covered by Medicare and Medicaid.
Let's sprinkle on some financial context here. Yetis, the price paid before for one of these weight loss drugs, what was it, Jack?
At least $1,000 a month.
Okay, but the new price paid by the government to get one of these weight loss drugs?
$245 a month.
Besties, starting April 2026, Medicare patients will pay just $50 a month for these GLP-1s.
Which means grandmas will be walking Del Boca Vista strutting around the shuffleboard 80 pounds lighter than before.
You look fantastic, Barbara.
Now, initially, it's only obese senior citizens who will qualify to get Ozempic paid through Medicare.
But that could expand. Ozempic America could get huge while people get small.
Pause the pod there.
Yes, Jack.
Medicare and Medicaid. Combined, that's 37% of Americans.
Okay, so I know what you're thinking here.
I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
What about you and me?
Okay, and probably most of our listeners here, like the weight loss drugs, they still are not covered by private insurance. But those prices are getting cut too.
As part of this deal the Trump administration struck, Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly are going to drop the price that they charge for these drugs to $350 for 1 month supply.
Or $150 a month if you order the drugs directly from the website, DTC Drugs.
And again, that's down from at least $1,000 a month that people are paying today. So basically, after this news, every day is Prime Day for Ozempic. 85% off.
Yeah, and it changes the framework. Like before, it was an indulgence for the rich to get Ozempic.
Ozempic was like liposuction or plastic surgery. A nice to have if you're living in Beverly Hills.
Okay, but now Ozempic is $150 a month. And what's that comparable to,
It's
Jack?
like a gym membership.
It's
a
less-
fancy gym membership.
Less than my Equinox, and it takes a lot of effort to go and run at Equinox at 6 in the morning.
$150 a month is the combined streaming subscriptions for me.
But this leaves a final question, Yetis. Why is Big Pharma massively cutting prices of their blockbuster profit puppy drugs?
Because President Trump told them to.
Yeah.
And threatened that they would suffer from big targeted tariffs if they didn't do it.
So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over in the discount Ozempic era?
Just like pizza, wine, and kindergarten, we stole this idea from Europe.
Yetis, the government intervening in a market to set prices is basically socialized medicine, albeit on a very limited scale.
This story is going to save the American public a ton of money and expand the use of a drug that could hugely reduce chronic diseases.
Now, Jack, as Tony Perkins would say, the only losers here are the shareholders of the big pharma companies and probably Hot Pockets.
But Mark Cuban, a big critic of Donald Trump, is celebrating this news as a big win for the American people.
But here's what Jack and I find fascinating. This is the status quo for all healthcare services in Europe, Canada, and most other developed nations.
They let the government leverage their massive buying power to negotiate lower prices from pharma companies.
But here in America, we don't. It's actually been a huge win for the big pharma lobby and a huge reason why United States healthcare costs are so high.
But now, on a small scale, we're doing it. It's socialized medicine, but just for GLP-1 weight loss drugs.
Hey Yetis, if you're a bestie, take a sec and hit that subscribe button.
And like this video while you're at it. If you leave a comment, by the way, we'll read it.
For our third and final story, Yetis, we got something special for you. We actually have Lyft CEO in our studio to discuss their latest earnings announced on Wednesday.
Here's part of our interview with the CEO of Lyft, David Risher. Let's talk about your Q3 earnings that you announced yesterday. It looks like all the important metrics at Lyft are at all-time highs.
What kind of numbers are we talking, Jack?
The stock is up 8% because Lyft started its tenure as a publicly traded company with 21 consecutive quarters of losses.
Yeah.
But you just notched your fourth straight profit.
Halloween, your best day of the year, and you just had the best Halloween in the history of Lyft.
Yeah. Record number of rides. 10th consecutive quarter of double-digit ride growth. The big question, how? Are people just taking more rides right now and all boats are going up? Or are you taking market share from the other guys?
Yeah. So it's a little bit of both. Here's the thing. We do, as I say, maybe 800 to 900 miles. By the way, thank you for that acknowledgement. It's really, actually, I have to say, it is very satisfying to come into a company and have such good stuff to work with, right? Great culture, great people, great industry, something that really matters to millions of people every single day, and to be able to sort of shape it a little bit and move it a little bit. And, another stat, and then I'll answer your question, is we just generated $1 billion of free cash over these last 12 months, which is a big deal. When I joined, Erin, who's our CFO, and I joined around the same time. She was one of my first hires. We were consuming about $300 million. So from negative $300 million to positive $1 billion over 2.5 years, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, why? Again, customer obsession, customer obsession, customer obsession, that's the thing. Now, where's that growth coming from? So we do, as I say, 800, 900 million rides a year. The other guys, maybe they do 1.5 billion. So let's call it 2.5 billion between the two of us. Okay. That's a big number, but here's the thing. People take 160 billion rides in their own cars every year, just in the United States. 160 billion, 2.5 billion. So this is a huge, huge market. So one of the big mistakes that sometimes people make is they think binary or zero sum. Like if they're winning, we're losing. If we're winning, they're losing. Irrelevant, completely irrelevant. I don't care how the other guys do. All I know is if we're doing well for our customers, we're going to do well. Now, it also does happen that we have taken some share. That's nice. What does that tell you? That tells you people like us. And when they take a Lyft, they tend to take another Lyft. By the way, our drivers, to your point about drivers before, have now a 20-something, I think it's now 27% preference for Lyft over driving for the other guys. 27%? That's not small.
Yeah, it gets to your tip point, Jack.
Which gets to your tip point. It gets to your, like, how happy do I feel when I'm driving for Lyft? We have an earnings guarantee. Again, I can see all about this. But a long, long way of saying that we're just providing better service. And by doing that, yeah, we're taking some share, but more importantly, we're getting more people in Lyfts every single day.
Bigger slice of a bigger pie.
Yeah.
Are you past 31%?
We're right about 31.
The other guy in this scenario that we should mention isn't really a guy, it's a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah. We thought this was your first earnings where we've heard you mention the word Waymo in the report. And Jack and I were curious because your Waymo relationship, kind of a situationship, right, Jack?
So in Nashville,
Yeah.
people can hail a Waymo self-driving car on the Lyft app or on the Waymo app. You mentioned you're building a $15 million depot in Nashville. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, let us say it is a situationship. And that is a funny term that I also used with my daughter a couple weeks ago. But she clarified, I said, are you in a situationship? And she said, no. It's a relationship. And I'm like, okay, cool. I just wanted to sort of
Also, we
clarify.
say situationship because Waymo has gotten, by some studies, bigger than Lyft in San Francisco, but you've also partnered with them in these other cities.
Yeah, so it's complicated.
Love-hate, yeah.
It's complicated.
Yeah,
It's complicated. I mean, come on, life is
Yeah.
complicated. Yeah, no, for sure. Look, we're going to compete with them in some cities, no question at all. Absolutely no question at all. But we're also going to cooperate with them and partner with them. It's like we're frenemies. We're frenemies, right? We are. Okay, so what's going to happen in Nashville? In Nashville, when we launch, as you say, you'll be able to order a Waymo through the Waymo app. You'll be able to order a Waymo through the Lyft app. No matter who you order it from, we're going to be managing the fleet. Okay, so fleet management is this whole sort of technical thing. If you're into it, you can actually go to our website. You can see videos about it. It's basically like who cleans the car, who charges the car, who makes sure the car is well maintained, and so on and so forth. And we do that. We do that already for some Lyft cars today, and we'll do it in Nashville specifically for Waymo. That's what you need a depot for. You need to spend some money. It's basically, think of it as a big parking lot, but in that big parking lot, you got to have chargers, you got to have repair bays, you got to have all these sorts of things. And we do that stuff, and we do it well. We do it very efficiently. So we'll do that in Nashville. That'll be great. That'll be a service that we can provide Waymo behind the scenes. That means they don't have to do it. They like that. Mm-hmm. Then we do something called supply sharing, which basically means you've got a fleet of cars that are Waymos. You also, by the way, have a lot of driver-driven cars, and we're going to sort of manage the kind of balance between the two of those things. The hope is that this situationship in Nashville blossoms to something beautiful, right? And both companies aspire to see it replicated elsewhere. But just like any relationship, you got to start, and sort of, you got to date first, and maybe the second date, and then the third date before you decide to kind of get married and so forth.
Yeah, like most relationships, you hope they commit to you.
Oh,
yeah, for sure.
Less of a drama and more of a rom-com with a happy ending kind of thing.
I mean, I really appreciate where we're going with this. 100%. Look, I will tell you, I've been married now for 30 years, and so I'm kind of a long-term relationship guy. So I didn't necessarily announce to Waymo that that's what I was looking for on the first date. But if you're listening, you guys, I just want you to know that's kind of my mindset when it comes to relationships.
Breaking news: Lyft CEO wants full life commitment.
Full life commitment. Yeah.
So let's say Waymo announces it's expanding next to Seattle. Okay. How are you going to beat Uber besides your... What are you going to tell Waymo?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're making it a little complicated for me, guys. What are you doing for me? Well, look, let's again back up for a second. So self-driving cars, this is, of course, what we're talking about. First of all, a great product. I mean, let's just stipulate. It's a great product. It's a safe product. It's a chill product, it's a fun product, all these different things. So when you get new products in an industry, you have a choice. Your choice is either embrace them or ignore them. I recommend embracing if it's a good product. Because if you ignore, you wake up one morning and you find your Kodak and what happened to my film business. You know what I mean? Like, shoot. Darn. Thought that digital photography was kind of a fad. Turns out kind of is here to stay. So anyway, so we're embracing them. We're embracing self-driving cars from many different vendors and manufacturers and so on and so forth. Waymo is one. May Mobility is another. We work with in Atlanta. Baidu, which is effectively the Google of China. We use their technology or will use their technology next year in Europe, and on and on and on. So one basic thing is we're going to have multiple partners. So we are going to be, let's call it polyamorous a little bit too. You know what I mean? Or can we just kind of stay with that whole vibe a little bit for a second? We're going to be polyamorous because we're not in the business of building cars. We're not in the business of building a baby tech. And it really is in our interest, and frankly in the industry's interest, for there to be multiple good suppliers of this. And then city by city, it's going to be, different. But the one thing that will be the same is in all cities, there's going to be what we call a hybrid network, a combination of some percentage of self-driving cars, which will be fairly small for the foreseeable future, and a lot of driver-driven cars,
Besties, Nick and Jack back with you from the T-Boy studio. We're going to publish the full 50-minute episode of our sit-down interview with David next Friday.
Spoiler, he's not just CEO. He's also a Lyft driver.
Yeah, he's got some wild stories. It's really good.
I started driving actually before I became CEO. I started driving about, I think it was 4 or 5 days before I joined the company as CEO, because I just wanted to feel what it felt like. I wanted to learn what the driver experience was, and I wanted to hear from riders what it is that how they experience the ride. It's great. The answer to how I reveal it is I don't until about 2 minutes till the end.
Okay.
And then all hell breaks loose.
So tune in next Friday to hear more.
Fascinating, dude.
Jack, could you whip up the takeaways for us heading into the weekend?
After its IPO, you could buy a share of Baby Shark for your kid who's listening to Baby Shark.
And Baby Shark again and again on repeat. Baby Shark's competitive advantage is the balance of annoyance.
For our second story, the Trump administration struck a deal with Big Pharma to cut the prices of GLP-1 weight loss drugs by 85%.
Because when the government can negotiate with healthcare prices, those prices come way down.
And finally, Lyft used to lose money. Now it's made $1 billion of positive cash flow in the last year.
Basically, Lyft's saying you do a lot of things, Uber. We're just going to focus on the one thing.
And that focus has taken market share from Uber.
And given them a situationship.
But besties, this pod's not over yet. Here's what else you need to know today.
First, we got an update on the big Elon vote. Remember we told you he had that Rihanna vote about getting $1 trillion, better have my money, yesterday?
As expected, Elon got his payday with more than 75% voting yes.
Tesla shareholders approved this $1 trillion Elon incentive plan.
And Elon announced they're building quote-unquote gigantic factories to build their own chips.
And second, the government shutdown is officially hitting airlines. With air traffic control not getting paid, airports now have staffing issues.
So the FAA is canceling 4% of flights starting on Friday, 6% of flights on the 11th, and 8% by the 13th. 10% of flights will be canceled by next Friday.
Okay, Jack's actually got a red eye tonight, but so far safe, although they are already canceling flights preemptively.
I think the flights they're canceling are the ones with the cheapest tickets.
Yeah.
The expensive flight's the one I bought.
Yeah.
Probably not going to be the one that Delta cancels.
San Francisco to New York, I feel like a lot of people would be on with customer service for that one, Jack.
And finally, the Motion Picture Association of America sent a cease and desist letter to Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes, they did, because Meta used the term PG-13 to describe their new policies for Instagram.
But the Motion Picture Association owns that term, PG-13.
And shockingly, they don't think Zuck has the same definition of PG-13 as the movies do. Now, time for the best fact yet. This one from Alan Southworth from lovely Palo Alto, California.
We covered Axon this week, the company that invented the taser.
Okay, but where does the name taser actually come from, Jack?
It's actually an acronym.
Yeah, get this. Taser stands for Tom A. Swift's electric rifle.
Who is Tom A. Swift?
We didn't know.
He's a character in a 1911 science fiction novel, Tom Swift and His Electric Rifle.
And when the character shoots lightning with his rifle, it's basically a taser.
Really kind of cool.
Nothing better than a good acronym. Yetis, you look fantastic to end the week. Jack, wonderful work on the interview. That was a blast today. I had a great time with you and David.
I've had a great time in San Francisco.
My favorite part is later on in the interview when you surprised David that you took a Lyft down and the driver had some feedback to share with David.
I know.
Yeah.
You gotta listen to the whole interview on Friday.
You're gonna love the interview next week. In the meantime, Yetis, you look fantastic this weekend. Celebrate the wins. Tell a buddy, HYHTBOY, and Jack and I will see you Monday. Jack, I was so, we didn't hit it all show. I was so hoping you would hit it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And before we go, a shout out to the Yeti who yelled at us while we were walking down the street. Hey, I'm listening to T-Boy right now. We didn't totally catch your name. We think he said Kate or Hate, but we love you. Thanks for enjoying.
Quick correction from Sydney on Spotify and Sierra on Instagram. Tom Brady only had one ex-wife, Gisele Bundchen.
We thought he was married to the actress Bridget Moynihan, but he wasn't.
And a big shout out to Trisha Paul of Boulder, Colorado, the T-Boy couple along with Dan.
And Stephanie Oldershaw over in Hingham, Massachusetts, celebrating the big birthday just outside Boston.
And happy 30th birthday to Vignesh Ram Krishnamurthy, who's turning 30 in San Francisco.
And Eugenio Neri, happy 7th birthday down in South Miami, Florida. The soccer captain has got this one in the bag.
Happy birthday to Don V. Dessou from Southern California, who's working at Google.
Nick Jordan down in Hotlanta is turning to 4 years old. Congrats on being a legendary Yeti.
And happy birthday to Jimmy Carrillo in Maynard, Massachusetts.
And a shout out to Mariana Almaraz in Duluth, Georgia. 5-year anniversary, mom of one, absolute legend.
And good luck to Zoe Miller of Austin, Texas, who's taking the LSAT.
And Sally and V celebrating the big anniversary in Kopale, Hawaii. Jiu-Jitsu, it's on the books.
And finally, a big shout out to Samantha Chavez in Dallas, Texas. Your husband, he's into you. This is Jack. I own stock of Lyft, Nick on stock of Delta.